What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? Good evening to those of y'all that's tapped in on the Next Level Talks. For those of y'all that's watching it later, welcome. Thanks for tapping in. For those of y'all that's we got so many people that's in the UK, which I believe is about 6 hours ahead. We've got a lot of folks that are in South Africa, like they're about 7 hours ahead. I'm trying to figure out my global time zone, right? And then you got those in Australia that's like, man, wherever y'all tapped in from the East Coast, West Coast, man, thank y'all for tapping in with another episode of Next Level Talks, where we get to talk that talk, right? Like, so often you see stuff with me online where I'm motivating people, or I'm on stage, or I'm speaking, or I'm telling you about a training or something I have coming up when it comes to speaking. Well, this is a space where I can just kind of talk to you. I can kind of let you know what's going on in my world. I can kind of let you know what's going on in my mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, and what's up with my grind. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can kind of let you in on kind of where I am. And so I plan on sharing some things tonight. I'll be a little vulnerable. I'm going to be a little intimate with you tonight for the first half an hour or so. And then we're going to tap in and then we're going to tackle your questions. So for those of you all that's new to this, my name is Jeremy Anderson. I've been an international speaker for well over a decade, almost 15 years speaking. And I've been blessed to do this at a very high level. And now, of course, I'm the founder of the Next Level Speakers Academy, and husband, father, philanthropist, you know what I'm saying, son, child of God at the end of the day, right? And so I'm excited to be able to kind of share with you tonight an interesting topic. But before I get into the topic, I will ask that you subscribe. Come on, subscribe and then like it. Here's the reality. When you hit subscribe, you're gonna make sure you never miss something. Like literally before I tapped in, YouTube said, boop, Jeremy's going live in 60 seconds. I'm like, yo, that's me, right? So you gotta subscribe so you never miss an episode, right? In addition to that, I want you to like it, because you might have already subscribed to this, but if you don't like it, if you're not engaging in the chat, matter of fact, y'all say what's up to your boy. I'm sorry. This ain't a one-way, this is a two-way conversation. Y'all say what's up. And we got Jerry and we got Nick in the house. What's up, y'all? Say what's up to the people.
What's up?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So Jerry, when they start commenting, like, let me know who we got in the building, right? So I do want to holler at y'all in just a minute. But with that being said, tonight we're gonna talk about protecting your peace while building your brand. We're gonna talk about that tonight. And I'm not gonna just talk, I'm not gonna just lecture you. I'm literally going to let you into my world. I'm literally gonna let you know what I've been going through, what I've been experiencing, what I've been trying to figure out, how I've been navigating this very weird, confusing, and challenging space and season that I'm in. I'm gonna let y'all into my world tonight. It's Next Level Talks. Let's go.
You go out here and you claim your seat.
Oh, I just touched down, now it's time to celebrate. Super Bowl in Vegas, this where the big steppers play. My whole squad will paint the town, but they don't decorate. And my work a bit excessive, check my resume. Keep it a C note, if I'm speaking, I'm the keynote. Super Bowl in Vegas, this where the big steppers play. My whole squad will paint the town, but they don't decorate. And my work a bit excessive, check my resume. Ooh, yeah, ooh, yeah, ooh, yeah, ooh. Dance, 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 dance.
Come on, man. Every time I see that, y'all, I get excited. I'm ready to take the stage right now. But I'm grateful and blessed to have this stage and platform. With that being said, if this is the stage, you're my audience. Who we got in the building, Jerry? Who said what's up to your boy?
We got New York, we got Texas,
Yep.
we got Atlanta, we got Detroit, we got Connecticut,
Yeah.
we got a lot of people tapped in.
I love it, man. Welcome. And I'd be remiss if I didn't shout out the people that's in our Next Level Speakers Academy. So shout out, if you in the academy, just put a something in the chat. Just let us know in the chat if you here. You know what I'm saying? And then Jerry, you let me know, like, you know, who's in the chat, who we got in the building tonight. But shout out to all of the members of our Next Level Speakers Academy, man. I'm so grateful for y'all to tap in with me. And for all of you all out here in the world, you're like, Jay, I'm not a part of the academy, but I've been subscribing. I like your content. Like, yo, this is for you too. This just gives me an opportunity to connect with you, okay? With that being said, y'all, let's get right to it. First off, Jerry, who we got in the building from the academy?
Man, we got Dr. Ramona Lawrence.
Hey, Doc.
We got, let's see, we got Lillian.
Okay, Lillian Garcia. I love it. It's scrolling. Yeah, it's loading up.
Still loading.
Yeah.
Still loading. We got
So
a lot
look,
of
y'all, I'm excited, man. I'm excited for tonight, what we're about to share and what we're going to talk about. And here's the reality, right? Like, I have I've been navigating this space. It's funny, Deani texted me early, and Deani was like, "Yo, Jay, when you do next level talks, you should talk about going from angry man to Zen." That's extreme, right? Like, I don't be getting angry, upset like that. Like, I'm really a gentle guy. I got a gentle heart. I'm a lover. I'm a lover, not a fighter. You know what I'm saying? But Deani was like, "Yo, let them know the transition you're in." And I have been in the place where I've been chasing Zen. You know, I have been in the season where I've been chasing more Zen. I've been chasing more peace. I don't know what I do know what it is. I understand ain't nobody gonna be perfect. We do the best we can every single day. But I guess because I've suffered so much loss, I've lost so many close friends and brothers. You know what I'm saying? Over the years, it's like you go to so many funerals, you realize how fragile life is. And so for me, as I'm seeing the fragility of life, how fragile things can be, I know in my brain tomorrow's not promised. Does that make sense? Y'all talk to me in the chat and let me know, you know what I'm saying, that you picking up what I'm putting down. And so because I know tomorrow's not promised, like I'm really ready to get it. You know what I'm saying? And it has me being a bit more assertive than I normally would, if that makes sense. And so for me, I've just been in a very interesting, you know, in weird space. And I've got some brothers, some friends, Caleb and Adrian, AD, you know what I'm saying, Brian, Be the Wit, you know what I'm saying, Thomas, like play cousins. Like I got a lot of close friends, Wadre, you know what I'm saying, folks who have passed, you know what I'm saying, over the years. And it's just like, man, if they were here, they would, but I got life, so I got to get it. And so when things don't work out, sometimes it frustrates me because I'm like, tomorrow's not promised. And I'm really living like, yo, God, I want you to be able to look at me and say, man, well done, my good and faithful servant. Like, that's what I want God to be able to say. Like, you was faithful over a few, I'm going to make you rule over many. I want God to say, enter into my joy, well done. You know what I'm saying? So I operate with that, and that kind of gives me that drive, that zeal to move forward at an accelerated rate. But with all that being said, sometimes things be off, and at times I get frustrated. So I've been in a place now where I'm like, because I live by always grateful, never settle. Does that make sense? So because I live by always grateful but never settle, I literally I'm literally about that life. I'm grateful for everything. I'm grateful, but I'm not gonna settle. And so there are times when I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna settle, but I got peace. Come on, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna settle, but I got a peace in my heart. I got peace in my mind. And so I'm in that space now where I'm just trying to really chase Zen. So I wanted to talk to you all about, you know, protecting your peace while building your brand, right? So that's what we're talking about tonight. Now, most people I talk to, most 9 times out of 10, the question I get, Jeremy, how do I build my brand? Like, how do I get speaking engagements? Like, how do I scale my business? Like, you know what I'm saying? How do I do this? Like, they're like, I want to build my business, entrepreneurship. Like, I want to become a prolific, powerful speaker. I got a message. Like, how do I grow in that area? I get very few calls. I get very few texts of, Jay, how do you not lose your mind? Like, how do you protect your peace? Like, how do you not have your wife and kids wondering if you care about them, right? And so when I get a text from Jeremiah Brown, I love it. Here recently, Jeremiah Brown texted me, big bro, this gonna be my another month, $100,000, 6 figures in a month. I'm like, yo, praise God. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm excited for you. Then the next day, he's like, big bro, like, help me out. I wanna have a balance so I can make sure my family not suffering because I'm on the road traveling and speaking. You feel me? Like, that's the reality. And so a lot of times, we get to a point like Nate Evans. Shout out to my man Nate. Nate might hit me direct like, big bro, love you, man. Praying for you. I'm like, yep, praying for you too. Thanks. He's like, yo, you know, how do I stay tapped in with the family? How do I make sure I don't lose this and that? Like, here's the reality. You can go and almost lose your mind. How do I know it happened to me? 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I remember having a counseling session with one of my counselors, Dr. Moblin. She was just like, Jay, I'm concerned about you. She was just like, you going. You taking care of everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, who taking care of you? Like, you got to take care of you. You got to make sure you're in the best position. Oftentimes, you look for loved ones, family members, people to take care of you, right? But guess what? Public service announcement for all of you watching me. It is your responsibility to protect your peace. It is your responsibility to take care of your mind. It is your responsibility to set boundaries. It is your responsibility to take care of you. It's easy to say this person should do this for me or that person should do that for me. But at the end of the day, you have a responsibility to take care of you. So when she said, Jeremy, what are you doing? You look out for everybody else. You taking care for everybody else. You paying for everybody else stuff, tuition, this, that, bills, counseling, praying with them. What are you doing to take care of you? And so I realized at that moment, like I broke down, we had a deep session. She was like, you need to get away, go get you a hotel room, a staycation, go get you a massage, go to the sauna, go to the spa, get a pedicure. Like, bro, you just pamper yourself. She was, you know what she told me? Y'all gonna love this. She said, don't be up in the hotel room reading the Bible, trying to be all extra spiritual. She was like, bro, this ain't the time to try to grow with God. This is the time to grow within. Come on, man. Y'all talk to me. Are they in the chat? Jerry, like, are they? I want to make sure I ain't talking to myself, right? They tapped in.
Yeah.
All right, so check this out, y'all. She was like, yo, you got to make sure you take care of yourself within. She was like, I know you love God. You be fasting and praying. You wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to seek the face of God. That's cool. She was like, don't you feel guilty sitting up in that hotel room, eating pizza, watching Netflix all day? And I was just like, all right, you know, and it almost felt uncomfortable and I almost felt guilty, but I was like, no, I'm going to sit in this space. So my journey of this actually started about 2 years ago because I was running on empty. Truth be told, y'all, I was running off of fumes and didn't realize it because I'm wired to get up and go. I'm naturally optimistic. I'm naturally loving on people. If somebody called me and my garage door won't close, or I'm having this issue, or I'm stranded, or I need money for this, like, I got that. I want to come through for people in the country, especially those I love dearly, right? And so it's like as I'm going, doing, I began to lose myself. And so I realized, like, man, I've got to do a better job of taking care of myself. And my counselor told me something I'm going to share with you. Halt. All of you right now, I'm going to share with you, halt. Don't ever make decisions where you are hungry, when you are angry, when you are lonely, or when you're tired. Somebody put it in the chat. All y'all put in the chat, halt. Write this on your arm, write this on your wall, put this in your notes. Never make a decision when you are hungry, when you are angry, when you are lonely, or when you're tired. And so I'm being vulnerable. I'm letting y'all into my world because some of y'all view me like, oh, Jeremy's a speaker, this coach that got it all going on. Like, I figured some things out, but I'm still trying to figure some things out, right? And so I realized then, like, man, I can be very dangerous and cause hurt and pain to people that I love dearly if I don't take care of myself. And so I've been on this journey, you know what I'm saying, over so far this year and the end of last year of not just taking care of myself, but just really being tactful with how I move, even while my heart is healing. Are y'all hearing me? Right? So it's like, I'm loving on people, I'm motivated, I'm traveling and speaking, but oftentimes you can do that with a broken heart. Did you realize that? So when some people say, oh, I'm dealing with impostor syndrome, now it might not be impostor syndrome. You just feel like I should be out here pouring into other people while I'm still going through the struggle myself. Well, sometimes that's how it is. You know what I'm saying? So as I'm getting the counseling, as I'm getting the therapy, I'm still pouring into other people. Y'all, I was just tired. What am I doing now, though? To protect my peace now, what am I doing? I'm setting more boundaries. I'm sleeping. I'm staying up a little later than normal. You know what I'm saying? I'm waking up a little later. I'm waking up 6:30 now. You know what I'm saying? And I used to feel guilty about it, but I'm like, no, I feel good waking up at 6. I'm in a different season. I got a different type of rhythm in the morning time. This is what I do. I wake up. I make me a nice little cappuccino. You know what I'm saying? I got the perfect foam ratio. I sit outside. I water my plants. I have my devotional. You know what I'm saying? I'm reading. I'm watching the sermon. You know what I'm saying? I'm praying. I got time with God. And after I've had my time with God, and I pray a 3-part prayer. I pray a 3-part prayer for those of you who want to know. I always pray a prayer of gratitude. See, before I even go into asking for stuff, I'm praying the prayer of gratitude. Then I go into an intercessory prayer. So I might be praying for one of my friends that, you know what I'm saying, I got 3 women that I know that's close to me that have lost their husband. So I'm praying for Tiffany, and I'm praying for Sharice, and I'm praying for Sophie. I'm praying for my parents, you know what I'm saying? I'm praying for my own family, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm praying for my wife and our relationship. Like, I'm praying for team members. I'm praying for a friend that got cancer. Like, I'm just interceding for people, you know what I'm saying, in that moment. And then the third prayer is I make my request known to God. Then I'm watering my plants, you know what I'm saying? Then I take my vitamins and I might drink me my pre-workout protein shake. Like I have a whole routine. Then I go to the gym. So I'm taking care of my spiritual, I'm taking care of my mental, then I'm taking care of my physical before I even touch my business. One more time, because some of y'all get up and you get right to the email and you ain't even sought the face of God and you ain't even sought your own face. I practice mindfulness. How am I feeling in this moment? Did I feel anxious yesterday? Do I feel anxious right now? The other day I was feeling like, I feel irritated. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do I feel so irritated? This morning I was just like, I feel heavy. So I practice mindfulness like, man, why do I feel so heavy right now? Like, what's going on? What's the email that I got? What's the phone call that I got? Like, why do I feel empty in my heart and my spirit? Like, come on, man, come on. I'm letting y'all into my, Jerry, I hope I don't regret this later, right? I hope they can appreciate me being open and
100%.
vulnerable with them, right?
100%.
But y'all, I'm human, y'all. I got thoughts, I got feelings, I got emotions. And so I find myself oftentimes practicing mindfulness, like, okay, where did this come from? Where did that thought come from? Where did this emptiness come from? Or if I'm really excited, okay, where did that come from? And I'm learning to have a steady place of zen. A steady place of zen. I don't want to be too high, I don't want to be too low. I want to just be steady. So I'm balancing my mantra that I live by, always grateful but never settle. And there are times I'm like, okay, I'm not going to settle, but I'm still at peace with where I am. Right? So the old me was like, always grateful, I'm grateful for it, but I want more. And it's not working out. God is just like, it's not working out, but be at peace. Because I'm working. I'm doing something. I've been in a very weird season. Right? I told y'all before, or some of y'all might not even know this. You know what? So Jerry, write this down. I'm gonna do a talk in a few weeks called More Money, More Problems. And I'm gonna show them how I lost $1 million in 1 year. Yeah, more money, more problems. Yeah. Oh, y'all gotta tap in for that one. You know what I'm saying? But it's like sometimes you're just in a weird season. And so if you're wondering, like, okay, because I get questions every blue moon, like the business stuff a lot, but it's like, Jay, how are you taking care of yourself? Well, I stick with my morning regimen, except now I'm sleeping in more. So I'm not waking up at 4 or 4:30. I'm waking up now at 6 or 6:30. I'm having a little bit more time to sleep, right? And I've got my regimen. So I have my spiritual time. I have my mental wellness time. And let me tell you something. Either I'm watering my plants, I might be sending a voice note to some friends or some loved ones, or I might play my little spa music in my phone that sound like heavenly harps and angels and waterfalls. Like I'm listening to the water in my pool when I water the plants. Like I got my mental health time and I got time to clear. I got time for clarity. I can draft some emails. Like I just got some time to think and take care of me. Then I hit the gym. Right. And then I come back and I go from there and I added something. Listen to me, y'all. I'm chasing Zen. And let me tell you something. If you're serious about your mental health and you're serious about your peace within, I want you to put in the chat, chasing Zen. Chasing Zen. Z-E-N. Come on, put it in the chat. Chasing Zen. Let me share with y'all something else I did. I don't know how I found out about this place, but I've been going to the gym a lot. I got a trainer that's got me on this crazy regimen. My man was just like, you don't eat enough. You got to eat 5 meals a day. I'm like, bro, I don't be hungry, bro. You know what I'm saying? But like, so I go to the gym. So I went to this place called Perspire. It's like a hot sauna studio. Phenomenal experience. It's like I got my own suite. It's a sauna. They got a table, a desk, a TV. I can watch Netflix. I can listen to music, and I can just sweat like all the impurity. Like, man, I cannot explain to you the mental reset it did for me. This sucker. Some of y'all might be like, "Oh, Jay, I ain't got the resources." I promise you, that thing costs like $30. You hear me? But I went there and had a whole hour experience. Then they got private showers. They were able to shower and just refresh. And so after the gym, it's like, then I hit the sauna. I'm sweating it out. I got some time to think. I got some time to pray. I'm just taking care of my mind so I don't lose my mind. My mind is always racing. I'm being more intentional now of taking care of my mind so I don't lose my mind. I miss more and more calls. I miss more and more texts these days. Sometimes it's intentional, sometimes it's by accident. Sometimes I grab my phone, I'm like, man, I done missed 8 or 9 phone calls. I done missed 15 texts. And the old me used to have anxiety, like, okay, who do I gotta call back first? Okay, I gotta call this person. I gotta call this person. If I don't call this person, they're gonna feel away. And I don't know what to say, Jerry. But now I'd be like, oh, 15 calls, 19 text messages. Yep, got it. I'm at peace because I can't be there for everybody. You know what I'm saying? When I need to be there for me. Because if I'm not who I'm supposed to be, my family needs the best version of me. My team that works for the organization needs the best version of me. Our community needs the best version of me. Like I am putting on my oxygen mask first, right? I am making sure that I'm in a better place and I don't feel bad about it. So I'm just letting y'all into my world. Now you got to ask yourself, what does that mean for you? Right? What boundaries do you have to set in place? And I think I would like for some of you all that's on with me now to put it in the chat. Like, let me know what boundaries you need to probably set in place. Is it missing more calls? Is it saying no to more people? Is it working out on a regular basis? Is it starting with getting a gym membership? Is it maybe changing your diet or carving out 30 minutes in the morning for your spiritual and mental health growth, right? Like, is it going to a sauna or a spa? Like what is it that you can do weekly to kind of take care of you to put yourself in the best position? Jerry, when they start coming through, I want you to kind of let me know what some of the different people are saying, right? But this is important. So I kind of want to know, what do you plan on doing to take care of you to make sure that you were in the best position, right? Because I'm in a place now where I'm like, man, I want to be as strong, as potent, as powerful, as prolific as possible. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta first take care of me because there are too many people depending on me. And so the season that I'm in now kind of has me in a place where I'm just like, I want to grow. I want to be there for everybody, but I can't be there for nobody if I'm not first there for me. And I understand for you, as you're trying to build your business and you're trying to build your brand, but you also have to protect your peace. Does that make sense? Like you got both options. Are they giving us some insight, Jerry?
Oh yeah.
What are they saying?
You got Myra Smith saying learning how to say no, and no, I need to say no. We got SC Pond saying go to bed at 10 p.m. We got time blocking from Tanya. We got saying no to Lisa from Lisa. We got Spar from Diani. We got Queen of Recovery saying changing my eating habits. We got Dr. Ramona saying I started doing 1 hour of delegation per day, freeing. And lastly, we have Nelly saying it's the non-negotiables of my peace.
I'm proud of y'all. I love all of the adjustments, all the things you're going to start doing, and all the things that you're going to do. Dr. Ramona, hit me. I'm going to make sure you keeping it. You stay in the course, Deani. What we doing, Deani? Tell me in the chat. Are we doing the spa once a week? Or are we doing the spa twice a month? I want the details. I'm about to hold y'all to it. You're too important to yourself and to your family and to us, right? So I do want to make sure that you all are putting some of these things in place to protect your peace at all costs while you're building your business, right? And so there's a biblical story of a man of God that was rebuilding the walls. And as they were building the walls, some of the people were building with one hand, like they would have like a hammer, and then they would have a sword in the other. And I thought that was interesting. I was reading that, saying this morning, like you're building up the walls to the temple, but with one hand you're building up, but the other hand you have a sword. And I was reading that this morning. I was just like, man, like how symbolic is that, right? It's like to build with one, but protect with the other. Come on, y'all. Let me. You know what? Let me read you the exact. I want to read you the exact. Verse and kind of give you the exact plan that I was under. Shoot, I'll have to put it in the chat later. I didn't write it. I didn't write it in my notes, but I think it was. But when you begin to study the book of Nehemiah and Zechariah, like you see the great works that they were doing. Imagine you building a house in a hostile environment or territory. So you putting a brick, you got the mortar, you slapping it down with the scalpel, you got the next brick, but you got a 9mm right here just in case a local gang comes to threaten you. So we're doing two things. This isn't about just protecting your peace, period. It's protecting your peace while you're building your brand. It's protecting your peace while you're building your business. It's protecting your peace, you know what I'm saying, while you're building that voice, that message that God has given you. So most of you that's tapped in with me are interested in entrepreneurship, speaking, etc. But you got to ask yourself, like, man, what am I doing to really build up my business? And as you're working on your business, because we had that go, that grind culture. So as you're working on your business, you also have to protect your peace. And so I want to make sure that you all have a good strategy when it comes to that, because if not, you will and you can lose yourself. Drop your questions in the chat because in just a moment, I'm going to start tackling your questions. I want to hear directly from you. So give me a short, clean, concise question. I'm going to actually answer your questions live right here on the chat. What I wanted to do tonight was to let you know as your friend, your coach, your mentor, however you view me, you know what I'm saying, that I'm still figuring things out myself. And I'm doing the best I can to protect my peace while I'm still building up businesses and building up my brand and making adjustments and making meetings and being there for those who I love and those I'm responsible for taking care of and covering. And just, it's a lot, you know, that comes in this space, in this territory. And I really believe for you, you're building up your brand, you're building up your career, you're building up your business. You got children, you got a husband, you got a wife at home, like you got thoughts, feelings, emotions, family members. You got life pulling at you. And then for most of you, you just want to give, you just want to serve, you want to just be there for everybody. But what you fail to realize is that if you're not really there for you, you're not even giving them the best version of yourself. And so for me, it's I got some non-negotiables. For me, I'm being more intentional about chasing Zen. Like this seems small, I get it, but I want you to know how big this was for me. When I went to that sauna space, and it's like a sauna studio. So they got these private rooms you go in. It's like a table, a desk, a chair, and then you got the glass door. And you walk through there, and it's like the sauna with the bench. And they got the TV. They got like a cold eucalyptic towel, but it's super hot. It gets up to 170 degrees, and you just sweat all over. And besides the impurities coming out of my body, just the clarity in my mind, the lightness in my spirit, I felt like a feather. I walked out of there. The first thing I told the people at the front desk, I ain't gonna lie. I said, connect me with the owner. I want a franchise. I ain't gonna lie to you, y'all. I walked out that sucker like, this was a ministry. I should be paying tithe here. Who the owner is, I want a franchise. And I'm serious about that too. Why? Because I realize what that can do for the average person, and I realized what it did for me. And so as I'm going through this experience, I realized like, whoa, that was Zen. For that hour that I was there, and I was in a quiet space, wasn't nobody around me. I had a door, I had privacy. It's one thing when you go to like a resort and you in a sauna with a whole bunch of other people. I was in my own private little small space, my own little sauna cubicle. But for me, that might not have did it for you. I'm just telling you, from my journey, I just felt so lighter in my spirit where I said, I need that. I need that. I don't know if I need that 4 days a week or 2 days a week or what, but I need that in my spirit because I'm chasing Zen. I've got to protect my peace. So if I miss some calls and I miss some emails and I miss some texts and some folks is like, bro, I hit you 2-3 times. I'm like, for one, I don't even see most of them. And for two, it's like, my bad. And those who really know me know to follow up with a heart or a praying hand emoji the next day, or they'll like the comment so it pops up at the top. So if anybody's on here live right now and you text me over the last week or so and I haven't responded, just heart it. Now don't heart it tonight, because I'm about to shut it down and tap in with the family. But heart it tomorrow morning. That text gonna pop back up at the top, and I'm gonna say, oh, I missed you. My bad, what it do? Does that make sense? So I want you all, I'm just being vulnerable, transparent, kind of letting you into my world so that you can see what it is I'm doing to protect my peace, to take care of my heart, to make sure that I'm in the best space so I can be a better version of me. And when I find something that works for me and is safe, I'm like, yep, the sauna is safe. The sauna's a safe space. I'm private. I'm there. I got my own little space for that hour. I need that because I'm chasing Zen, right? And so I want you all to be intentional about protecting your peace while you're building your business. And I felt like tonight was important because we always talking about building business and strategies. And I'm about to answer all your questions just now, right? So we're going to talk about that. But now we're talking about setting boundaries and you taking care of your mind. The mind is a terrible thing to waste. Don't you go and be out here a shell and a fraction of yourself because you're running on fumes. I did that a few years ago. And God told me now, like, nah, son, I need you like full tank. You know what I'm saying? And not the 87, not the 89, 93. I need you on that 93. Put that sucker in cruise control and mash and go get it, right? And so that's the season that I'm in because of what God has called me to that is vital. And this is the same with you. You ain't no different from me. God got a plan for you. God got great things in store for you. God wants to use you in a crazy, uber powerful way, right? And you just now kind of figured it out. I'm like, man, there's a whole other level that God wants to take you to. And I believe that as you have more emotional capacity and you have more mental capacity, and then you got more spiritual depth or spiritual capacity, like when you in that position, that's when he can bless you. And I'll even go deeper in a few weeks when we have another one and we talk about more money, more problems. Like I'll let you into some of the other challenges, some of the areas and times when God's like, I'm gonna sit you down because I'm doing something else and you're not ready for this. And it's just a lot. And so it's a lot I'm processing in life while I'm still blessing people and I'm still adding value and I'm still tapped in with family and friends. Like it's possible, but I can be better and feel better when I am more intentional about me. So if you plan on being more intentional about taking care of yourself, just put it in the chat. Just put I'm gonna be more intentional in the chat or more intentional. Put that in the chat. And Jerry, let me know who is saying they're gonna be more intentional. Like I wanna know who are the people that's making a declaration today, like, no, I'm gonna be more intentional. I am gonna take better care of myself. I am gonna do a better job protecting my peace. You've been learning and studying and understanding about building your brand and your business. But now it's just like as you take care of you and you got more mental, emotional, spiritual, physical capacity, you're gonna be even greater out here in the world. Yep. What they saying?
Sir, we got Christian saying more intentional. We got CC Clark saying more intentional.
Come
We
on.
got Logan saying more intentional.
What up, Lo?
intentional. We got Chris Lacey. We got Jasmine. We got
Yeah,
Karen.
come
we got
on.
Phyllis. We got
So look,
Lisa.
Karen, Phyllis, Logan, what's up, y'all? Chris Lacey, what it do, sis? Like, I'm glad. I'm glad to know that you all are like, yep, I needed this. Like, I'm gonna make those necessary adjustments. I just want you to win. You know what I'm saying? And you can have it. You can have it all. You win in every single aspect of life. But you gotta be intentional about you taking care of you. All right, let's get to some of these questions. We understand now how we're gonna take care of our peace, the importance of protecting our peace while building our brand and our business. So you can and let me just say one more thing. The clarity I have. I got laser light beams. Like the clarity I have right now, the peace within, the discernment, I'm able to hear God even more clearer. I know what adjustments to make. You know what I'm saying? Even though there are times that I might feel foggy and heavy, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying everything is peachy, but it's just like by me saying I'm gonna prioritize me, and that's like, oh, that could be toxic or that could be challenging, or I'm gonna set my boundaries, or like just me taking care of me, not availing myself, not being there for everybody, me taking care of me, like getting my counseling, getting my therapy, releasing, not having expectations, like really taking care of me. What puts me in zen, what puts me in a good mental, spiritual, emotional, physical space, like my team know I don't have no meetings 8, 9, 10. All my meetings after 11. Why? Because I need that time for me. Now, you might not have that luxury. I get it. Well, guess what? Then if you don't have the luxury to have all your meetings pushed off till 10 or 11 o'clock at night, then guess what? You don't have the luxury to be up to 10 or 11 o'clock at night. I meant to say that the other way. If you don't have the luxury of pushing all your meetings back to 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning, then you don't have the luxury of being up 10, 11 o'clock at night. So you shut it down, you go to sleep earlier so you can wake up earlier so you have more time for you. Shout out to all of y'all that's hearing me talk, but you feel in your spirit like, yeah, Jay, but I ain't got time. You got time for it? I be having very full days. Ever since I got back from the gym and showered and got moving, going across town, had an interview, I've been making moves, running plays all day, and then took 7, 8 minutes 30 minutes before we jumped on, my daughter made a board game, played the board game with her, went and got dressed, came right here. So I done had me almost a 9-hour day. So like, don't play with it. We all have 24 hours in a day. You just have to prioritize you. You have to prioritize your purpose. You have to prioritize your peace. All right, let's hit these questions. What we got?
Yes, sir. So the first question is from Myra. She said, do you have a balance formula for your business building, self, family, community, and church/give back service?
Dang, all of them. So I'll say this, Myra, great question. So I do have a balance, but it fluctuates. And it's going to be different for everybody. And I do it in order. There are some people that say, Jeremy, I know you be connecting with God in the morning, but I'm a night person. We can debate that later. You might be up at night. You might be more alarmed at night, but ain't nothing like getting your assignment from your creator first thing in the morning. Right? So I would say this, Myra, because everybody's schedule and balance is going to look different. Everybody's formula is going to look different, right? Because My life might calls for a different list of ingredients than yours. I might be a pound cake, you might be a cheesecake. We both might have a little flour, but the eggs and the buttermilk and the portion, the temperature, and how long it's gonna sit and rise is gonna be different. Does that make sense? And so I'll share this with you, Myra. In the morning, I got at least an hour where it's just me and God. I got time to meditate, I got time to pray, I got time to worship, I got time to read. Like, I got time for that. Then I have my mental time where I can water my flowers. I listen to my spa music. I practice mindfulness. I'm thinking about stuff. I got ideas. I'm jotting stuff down. Then I have my breakfast, have my pre-workout, take my vitamins. Like, I got a whole regimen. Then I hit the gym, right? So there were seasons of my lives when my meetings had to start at 9 or 8:30. That's when I was waking up at 3:30, 4 o'clock, because that time with God and that time for me personally, and then that time in the gym. I can't even explain to you what it does for your brain, you know what I'm saying, there. And then you tap in with your family. Then you tap in with business. Then you tap in with community. But you make God and yourself most priority, Myra. That's gonna sound crazy because some of y'all are like, well, I should put God and myself before my kids. Yes, you better not make an idol out of your spouse. Not make an idol out of your children. You put God first, then you put you first. Because here's what happens when you prioritize you, Myra, and you take care of you. Now you a better version of yourself for your husband. You know what I'm saying, Myra? Like, it's different if you married. I don't know if you're single, so forgive me if you're not, right? But for instance, like Chris Lacey, what up, Chris? Chris on. When Chris take care of herself, she's like, now I can be more present and the best version, the best mom for my kids. Now I can be the best version for my husband, James. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you, God, yourself, then everybody else flows from there. God, yourself, family, then your business. Then you see what you have left for church and community give back. Does that make sense? And with the church, like, there are some people I've actually said, you know what, you've been serving this church faithfully, but you giving your kids or your family the scraps. So step back from service, step back from leadership, and just get back rooted and grounded. Somebody else gonna step up. Because oftentimes, just like it is in corporate America and business, it's the same in church. 10% of the people doing 90% of the work. So yeah, Myra, you prioritize your time with God, then yourself, then your family, and you let your business, work, church flow from there. All right, let me get that next question.
All right, next question. Gabriel says, have you ever experienced imposter syndrome? If so, how did you overcome?
Yeah, so you know, it comes from time to time, right? You got to ask yourself, like imposter syndrome, for those of y'all that don't know, it's just like, am I good enough for this? Should I really be here? Like, am I really this person? And it's just like, man, if they're calling you to come in and speak, if they're wanting you to do this, then yeah, you're qualified to be there. But sometimes the enemy can get in your head, right? Like, he does this to the best of us, right? Like me transitioning from being really dominant in the educational space for the last decade, and then overnight saying now I'm in corporate, like, that's taking a lot of transitions. Am I getting opportunities? Am I getting big checks? Yes. But it's not like it was when I was in the corporate space, because it takes time there. But then I had some thoughts earlier this year, like, maybe I shouldn't have made this move. Like, maybe I was wrong. And God was just like, bruh, stay the course. Like, stay the course. And so sometimes when we don't get the results we want, or when people don't respond the way we want, sometimes our own negative thoughts feeds that imposter syndrome. So let me just share this with you, Gabe. Bro, you've been called. We've all been called. So you got to release that imposter syndrome. We got to release that I'm not good enough. We got to release that somebody else might be better than me, right? Like, you've been called for a reason. And I would say walk into that. So I have had some moments where I might have that imposter syndrome, and I might feel like, should I really be doing this? I'm not really that guy. And God was like, yeah, but I'm that guy. You're not that guy, but I'm your God. And I've called you, and watch how I work here. I can name a whole bunch of people, you know what I'm saying, in the Bible that had imposter syndrome. You feel me? And they had to get over themselves and realize, oh, his word says that his strength is made perfect in my weakness. So in those moments where I'm like, but man, God, I'm really not, boom, boom. He was like, yep, you're not worthy, but worthy is the lamb that was slain. Yep, you ain't got the juice, but I got the juice. Shoot, he had Moses, who was out in the wilderness for 40 doggone years, that had a stuttering problem, to go to Pharaoh. The Pharaoh? And say, oh yeah, God said, let my people go. All these million something slaves that you got working for you, building up Egypt. Yeah, God said, kill that, dead that, let them go. He like, bro, I got a stuttering problem. Like, I ran from Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't dare go back. And God was like, bro, I've called you. So yeah, I think everybody at some point in life, you might experience that imposter syndrome. The question is, you got to get out your own head. The word of God says, think of whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is lovely, whatever is praiseworthy, whatever is kind. Think of these things. And you got to always ask yourself, is this what I'm saying about me? Is this what the enemy is saying about me? Or is this what God is saying about me? And when I get to a point where I'm like Gabe and I'm like, that ain't what God said, so I don't believe it. Sometimes it's the enemy, sometimes it's us. Y'all heard what I said a few weeks ago. The National Science Foundation said that the average human has between 12 and 60,000 thoughts per day. Of those thoughts, 80% are negative. Gabe, that thoughts mean you have 80% are negative and 95% are repetitive. It's things we've been telling ourselves when we was 8, 18, 28, and we still telling ourselves today. And so I be having to collect these thoughts and say, whoa, is this my thoughts? Is this the enemy's thoughts? Or is this God's thoughts? And if it's not God's thoughts, I'm throwing it out. All right, next question. Let's go.
Next question is from Brianna. She said, how did you truly figure out who Jeremy is amidst every season of your life? How do you know what you're going back to?
Yeah, so the part, how do I know what I'm going back to? I don't fully understand what you mean there, but I will speak to how did you truly figure out who Jeremy is amidst every season of your life? Yeah, that's you, man. Why you gotta get so deep, Bree? So let me just think and process. Help me, Holy Ghost. Let me just think about this for a second, right? Because I've always been me. Like sometimes I see my son and what he doing, and I'm like, dang, that's my son. Like that is me. Or somebody might hit me and be like, Jackson is you, or what he just did, or I see you and him, and so it's like I've always been me, but there's a different version of me in different seasons, if that makes sense. So even when I was in the streets, running nightclubs, you know what I'm saying, like moving work, living in that illegal lifestyle, to my core, I was still me. I was still a lover. I wanted to party I wanted to pop bottles. I wanted to have everybody have a good time. But if things got gully, it could get gully too. The same way now, we have a company barbecue. I'm barbecuing for 4 or 5 hours. I want everybody fed, big fireworks show. But then if I get bad news and we got to deal with something in business, like, okay, let's lock in. So I'm still the same me. I just had to really say, this is who I am. And you know who has really freed me a lot in this space? Next Level Nick. I remember talking to Nick one time, Jerry, and I was like, man, Nick, I should probably, maybe I don't know, I was kind of second guessing like how am I moving, how am I operating, and am I saying the wrong thing? And I remember in a meeting, Nick was like, Jeremy, you are perfect just how you are. She's like, bro, don't change. I needed to hear that. I remember talking one time to Crump, and I was like, bro, I need to, he was like, no, we need the energy. That's who you are. He was like, stay there. Just be a healthier, a better leader, a different type of version, but like, don't go and change. You know what I'm saying, Breeze? I don't know if this is helpful. I've just really kind of asked myself, like, who am I in this season? And really trying to be rooted with who I am. I would recommend you take a lot of time to think, a lot of time to pray, and then ask others what they see in you. Ask them, like, what do you see about me? What are my best character traits? What do I got to work on? You probably be surprised, Bree, when you talk to 4, 5, 6 different people and they say, I see this about you. I see that about you. I see confidence about you. You got a big heart, a big spirit. You might realize, like, yo, I'm seeing a pattern. I don't talk to 9, 8, 10 different people and I'm seeing a pattern here. That is who I am. I didn't realize that they saw that in me. You know what they say? A picture can't appreciate itself because it's stuck inside the frame. So sometimes you need other people to sit back and admire you and say, wow, look at what you're doing. Look at what you've accomplished. And so I'm leaning in, you know what I'm saying, more into that. But I feel like this season, God has humbled me even more because I always thought I was very humble and grounded. But even more, he's got me more settled. And so I think it's just, you know, how did you know what you're getting back to? When it came to me getting back to me, I'll just say this here. I had to get back to where I said, I'm going to prioritize me. Bree, I've always been a giver. I've always been a lover. I've always been one to advocate for others. I've always been, you struggling with something, you hurting here, you need this, I gotta go make it happen so I can provide. I've naturally been wired this way, but this new me is saying, I can't rescue you right now, or I might not be able to be there for you, but I'm coming in just a minute. I'm gonna lean on God for this. I think God really wanna step in because I'm now stepping in being the savior, doing his job. I'm about to prioritize me and then not feel bad about it. So if anything, Bree, I'm the same OG. I ain't changing. I'm just being more intentional now, saying, you know what, Jay? Take even more care of yourself. Lock in even more. Read more books. You know what I'm saying? Pray more, fast more, like study more, like swim more, work out, like push yourself, like really tap in with more with who you are, and then let the chips fall where they may. I hope that was helpful. All right, let me get that next one.
All right. The sixth man said, I'm trying to close 10 speaking gigs by December. Where would you start and what would you do to close on those?
So I think the first question is your audience. Yeah, the first question is going to be like, who's your audience? So if your audience was schools, you want to minimum have a EPK. You know what I'm saying? And we need to have an even deeper conversation. Jordan, shout out to Jordan. He my sneaker plug. So anybody that need the new J's, like he my guy. I got a closet full of J's, and you just see rows, rows, and rows, right? But I would probably say it just depends on who your audience is. For instance, we're gonna do a quick branding session. So say if you was like, Jay, I want to be in schools, I want to inspire the next generation because you the sixth man, because you the GOAT when it comes to shoes, like you keep me, CJ, ET, like all of us with the fresh J's that come out, like because you that guy, that could be a part of your brand. You know what I'm saying? But I could see you one stage speaking, saying like, yo, you see me with the, you know what I'm saying, with the fresh J's. I'm gonna show you how you can have the fresh J's and how you can have straight A's, right? You might be like, the reason why I'm talking about sneakers, you know what I'm saying, is you walking in your destiny or where are the sneakers taking you. Yeah, you wanna have the Jordan 3s on. Yeah, you wanna have the retros. Yeah, you wanna have the Travis Scotts. Yeah, you wanna have the Yeezys. But where are these shoes taking you in your destination of life? So I think once you figure out your overall message, in your brand, and you start knocking on those doors, bro. You start letting people know, hey, I'm here. I want to make an impact. Logo, EPK, the first thing. I've had several people in our community that's experienced success just from an EPK, especially if it's someone that they know. But when you're doing straight cold calling and you knocking on doors and you rolling up on schools, it's good for them to land to an easy one-pager website. For those of you all that's interested in the website, I got to put it out here, right? Next Level Brand Studio. If you're looking to get a website, you're looking to get a logo, a EPK, a speaker reel, we created the Next Level Brand Studio. So the same team that helped build my brand, we've expanded and they can support you. nextlevelbrandstudio.com. So I'll say Jordan, six man, like tap in with them. We get you a nice, clean, modern website, but that's going to put you in a position to get those 10 engagements. And so the biggest thing, the most important thing, clarity of message. I can't express this enough, bro. Clarity of message, clarity of voice, clarity of who your audience is. And once that's clear, you have a website that easily represents that. Keep it simple. I tell people all the time, if you confuse me, you lose me. But if you compel me, you'll sell me. So you want to make sure it's clean. This is your mission. This is what you're about. This is why they should book you. Now, if you knock on the door, you pull up at a school, you drop off some donuts just to get in with the decision maker, and they go to your website, they feel like, oh, this person here is about something. So that's what I would say. I would say make sure when they land, whatever website, whatever domain they go to, you know what I'm saying, Jordan Speaks, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like make sure when they land there, it's clear who you are, who you speak to, and the value you can bring to the organization. That's going to put God in the best position to bless you. One more time, when your brand, when your website, your logo, your EPK is clean, it's modern, your message is concise, and we can walk you through that, nextlevelbrandstudio.com. But when you got all that stuff in place, you put God in the best position to blow your mind and bless you. But the word of God says faith without works is dead. So you can pray all day long, y'all. But if you ain't doing the work and the investing on the back end, it ain't going to go nowhere. All right, let's tackle maybe 2-3 more questions. Appreciate that, Jordan.
Yes, sir. Back on track. I am going to Kenya in a few days to speak internationally at the Live Your Best Life conference. I've always had a problem with an effective call to action. What can I do to develop?
Man, first off, back on track, man. Congratulations. Going to Nairobi, Kenya in a few days to speak for the International Live Your Best Life conference. So when you say problem, have an effective call to action, I think the call to action, like closing, should be for them to do the things you're telling them to do. So when you say, what can I develop? This is what I would say do. I would say to identify maybe 3 things that they should do, if that makes sense, right? So it's like as you're speaking to them, you might tell them, hey, these are the 3 things you should do to live your best life. We had the Live Your Best Life conference. I don't want to just be up here telling you about my journey. Leave them with 3, 4, or 5 things that they can do. Have them write it down, easy for them to remember. Don't give them 8, 10 steps, it's way too much. 3 to 5 things that they should do. And then the call to action is to execute those 3 to 5 things. The call to action is to end it when have them stand up on their feet, you know what I'm saying? And I will. And then you say what that first thing is, and they repeat after you, I will. And then you say what that second thing is. I will. And you say what that fourth thing is. And then you say, now y'all make some noise for yourself. Put your hands together for yourself. If you're ready to live your best life, shout to the top of your voice. And people is on their feet. Ah! And now you got a built-in standing ovation, my brother. I'm proud of you. I know you're going to do a phenomenal job. They would not be bringing you into Kenya if they didn't think that you was cut out for this. I would just say to make sure you give them a clear message. These are the 2, 3, 4, 5 things you should do to live your best life, and then recap that at the end. All right, good question. Congrats, my brother.
CC Clark, she says, how do you get clarity?
The enemy, the devil, is the author of confusion. So you get clarity by prayer and then by wise counsel. I read it one time in the Bible. It says that there is safety in a multitude of counsel. You know what that means? When the word of God says there is safety in a multitude of counsel, you were in a safe position. You put yourself in the best position when you have a lot of different people counseling and advising you. What's going to give you clarity will either be the voice of God, and then sometimes it can be the voice of God through people. I can't tell you how many people have come to me like, Jeremy, I'm struck, I'm confused, and after 5 minutes, I ain't even gotta pray like, God, give me insight. I done spent so much time with him in the morning. He's constantly speaking through me. I just need to do a better job listening to his voice, right, and telling him what and doing what he wants me to do. But it's like if God says, man, CC Clark should do this, like I'm gonna tell you. So sometimes it's just it's being able to have the right people in your ear. Because what can confuse you is you have the wrong people in your ear. What can confuse you if you feel like, man, I got some visions, some dreams, some insights, I want to do this, but I talked to my homegirl, she said this, and then my homeboy said this, and then my mentor said this, but then I put up a poll on Facebook and they said this, but then my mama said this, and then my daddy told me that, and you all over the place. So now you have to consider the source. And it's like, okay, friend, homegirl, homeboy, mom, dad, co-workers, cousins, y'all mean well, but what have you really accomplished? You know, oftentimes people say don't take constructive criticism from people who haven't constructed nothing. Dang, Jerry, don't take constructive criticism from people who ain't constructed nothing. Yeah. Not that you can't learn from somebody who ain't but let me tell you something. Ain't nobody finna come and tell me nothing about business if you ain't never started no business. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't really tell, it's very little you can tell me in entrepreneurship besides basic stuff like be nice to people and market, but like if you ain't never built nothing. So there are a lot of times, CC, where we might get insider advice from a cousin or a friend and they mean well, but they ain't really went through nothing. They ain't really been high level corporate. They ain't really accomplished nothing. That can confuse you. And so I would say to make it a matter of prayer and to present it maybe to 2, 3 people who are where you want to be. So my mentors now, I got mentors now, I got coaches now that's like, no, you are where I want to be. So like, I'm going to do exactly what you said because you're where I want to be and you figured it out and you've helped a whole bunch of other people figure it out. So you get clarity through prayer, through fasting, you know what I'm saying? But then also through people. So God will send people your way and God will say, this person ain't it, don't do this, don't do that, clean this up. And that's what you want to lock in on. I hope that was helpful.
Okay, last one. Diamond said, as I take care of me, does that mean let go of all the things, people, and places that are not bringing me peace?
Oh, diamond, shine bright like a diamond. I'll say this. It depends. I'll say yes. As I take care of me, does that mean I let go of all the things, people, and places that's not bringing me peace? I'll say this. If you have a relationship, Diamond, let's just say you got a boyfriend and, and he is, y'all are always fighting. You know what I'm saying? He talking crazy. You was actually having a good day till you walked into his apartment and he being weird or whatever, right? And you just kind of get the feeling like this is toxic. And it's like, okay, because I tell people all the time, if you dating somebody and all y'all do is fight, that's like a warning sign because it don't get easier when you get married. Somebody put amen in the chat if you feel. I done had some friends. I had one of my homeboys. I'm like, bruh, all y'all do is fight. You think if you put a ring on it, that's gonna make her all of a sudden be nah, bruh. She gonna be a bigger monster, and you gonna be even a bigger monster. And then she bring out the worst in you. With all that being said, Diamond, I would say if it depends on those relationships and friends and people. Right now, I'm not saying you cut all your family off and it's like, Mom, we every time we talk, we have fights. It's like there are some relationships worth saving. So maybe you bring in a third party. Maybe you bring in a counselor. Maybe you get some other help there, right? And so it also depends because there are some people, and this probably isn't you, Diamond, but I want to say this. I had a very close family member, and I remember having a conversation. This family member was just like, you know, like identify 6 people they had a problem with. And I was just like, yep, it's that one number 1's fault, number 2's fault, number 3, 4, number 5, and number 6 fault. It's all their faults. Well, guess who the common denominator is with all these people? It's you. And so, Diamond, sometimes, and again, this probably isn't you, but there are some of us that probably need to say, you know what, I'm the enemy. Like, I'm the one blocking my own peace. Like, I'm toxic. I literally had somebody come to me recently was like, yo, I had a Jezebel spirit that was on me. I was always toxic. I was always negative. I thought it was everybody else, but they got released from that energy. So sometimes you have relationships where it's like, okay, you wilding and this is toxic. I'm going to cut you off because you're not good for my peace and my energy. And all you do is drain me. So you got to protect yourself from that. But then there are some relationships where you might say, you know what, this is worth salvaging. You know what I'm saying? Let me try to put some work in. Let me try my best to be mature, to see things from your point of view. Most relationships and conversations go to a whole nother level when you take a moment and stop saying, okay, let me prove my point, but let me try to understand. That's where wisdom and maturity kicks in. When you try to understand where the other person is coming from. You might find some of those relationships can be salvageable and it won't take away from your peace. But then there are probably some places that can also zap your peace, right? And so you want to also caution yourself from some of those. And full transparency, Diamond, like when I hit the reset button and I got baptized October 17th, 2009, and I started walking with God, you know, there were certain places I would go that I thought would feed my peace, but it was really feeding my flesh. It was really, you know what I'm saying, like feeding some of the negative traits I had. So I was like, I want to go to these places. I want to be around these people, but it wasn't good for my soul. It wasn't good for my spirit. It gave me a temporary fulfilling. So if you realize there are some places you're going that's not bringing you peace, then yeah, cut that off. Cut that off. So you got to just be cautious because I don't want you to be like, you start calling everybody, I don't fool with you no more, I'm blocking you, I'm changing my number. Like, nah, because that could be some work you got to do within, or there are some relationships clearly God is saying, I never signed off on this. And then there are some relationships that God might say, no, I want you to salvage some things. You just need to humble yourself and give that person grace to grow. I'm going to share this with you all as well. And this isn't just for you, Diamond, but there are some of you listening right now. You have some relationships with some people and y'all are bumping heads, but you are the more spiritually mature person in the relationship. And if that's the case, I want to challenge you to extend grace to them. That can be hard. I'm going to challenge you because you are the more spiritually mature person in that relationship. I'm going to challenge you to extend grace. I'm going to challenge you to extend more love. I'm going to challenge you to be a bit more patient. I'm going to challenge you to humble yourself because like I literally had a friend of mine that was just like really tapped in with God, but they spouse wasn't. And I was like, hey sis, you the one having morning devotional. Your spouse ain't seeking the face of God like that, but you the one that's fasting, you the one that's praying. But then when y'all get into it, y'all go toe to toe. Who the Christian here? If it's you, show that person what Christianity look like. So I was like, you have a responsibility to be the Christ-like figure in the relationship, but he's supposed to be the head. You're right. I'm gonna talk to him about that. But right now, he's not even seeking God the way you are. So surely you should move a little differently because you've been walking and talking with God. I hope that makes sense. So I don't know. I just feel like there are a group of you on that needs to hear that. You might look at some relationships with some people, and I believe that I know that some of you, God is telling you that he wants you to humble yourself and be more patient with that person because you are the more mature spiritual being in that relationship. And God wants you to extend some grace, you know what I'm saying, to love on them throughout the season. And as you do that, if that behavior continues and you feel like God is like, okay, release them, then you protect your peace at all costs. But the reality is if you've done wrong and you ain't perfect in that situation, then how dare you put it all on them? All right, let's move on, y'all. We ain't got time for all of these, because I mess around and get into a whole mock counseling and relationship counseling therapy building session. But I hope tonight you all found this valuable. I should have sent you the international joint. Do we have it?
I got it.
All right, I want to show y'all something, man. Y'all shout out to Scary Jerry, man. Shout out to the squad, man. I wanna show y'all something here. I have something exciting I want to share with you. Y'all know we just had our next level speakers conference a few weeks ago here in Atlanta, Georgia. It was electric on so many levels, just about a month ago, as a matter of fact. And we're taking it globally, y'all. This is now turned into a global tour. I want to show you all this trailer to get you excited about what's coming across international land. Check this out.
It's my time. It's my turn.
Next level will change your life.
Everything is here.
It's a dream come true.
Blown away.
It's a must-see.
September 28th is going down. E.T., Jeremy Anderson, the whole crew is coming to Canada. They're coming to pour into you if you're ready.
All y'all gotta do is show up. We gonna show out. What's up, London? We on the way, y'all. Look, y'all ain't gotta come to us.
It's your girl, Hayley Melinda, and I'm bringing the big boys. Jeremy Anderson, Eric Thomas, the #1 motivational speaker in the world, Jamal King. Listen, I don't need to chat too much. We even got CJ coming, man. Listen, we're gonna show up and show out.
We'll see y'all in a few. Let's go.
Listen, man. Listen, y'all. This is gonna be special. So whether you're in Canada, Toronto, or whether you're in the UK, you know what I'm saying, we'll be in London. You definitely want to be there. You know what, Jerry? A lot of people from the States have been like, bro, I'm flying. I'm gonna meet y'all in Toronto. I'm gonna meet y'all in London. I love it.
Yes, sir.
But there's a few more questions that came in, and one came from one of our elite members is our inner circle. Shout out to Aisha Friedman. I do wanna tackle that question right there, right? How do you deal with feeling? Hey, Aisha, appreciate you, sis. She says, how do you deal with feeling like you're failing the people around you, or who have higher expectations of you? How do you deal with feeling like you're failing the people around you, or who have higher expectations of you? So Aisha, I'll say this, and I hope you can receive this here. It is not your responsibility to live up to their expectations. It is your responsibility to live up to your expectations and do the best you can do. Does that make sense? Like, there are some parents that want their kids to make straight A's, magna summa cum laude. It's just like, yeah, but they also got a job. They also dealt with a bad breakup in their relationship, like, and they battling depression. Like, so, okay, they made A's and a couple B's and a C. Like, but they like, oh, my family doesn't think I'm good enough. It's like, hey, you did the best you can do. So Aisha, I want to release you of that feeling of I'm failing the people around me, or I'm failing the people that believe in me, or they have these super high expectations. Like, it's crazy because sometimes people will put you up on a pedestal that they ain't never been on themselves. Like, I've had a lot of conversations with folks over the years. It's like, man, people have all these. I'm like, you trying to sit up on this pedestal? You trying to meet these expectations? But they ain't never even been up there, right? And so you want to pace yourself, right? And everybody got a different journey, Aisha. So I don't want you to have family members or close people that's looking at you and it's like, how come you not where they was? Situations are different, times are different. You know what I'm saying? Like, when our parents and our folks were dealing with stuff 20, 30 years before we was, like, we live in a different world at a different time. I want to release you of that, Aisha. You are a beautiful soul. You are a beautiful human. You just do the best you can do. You ain't no slacker. You know what I'm saying? You do the best you can do with what you can handle in this season. Always grateful, but never settle. And as you're striving for more, you have a sense of peace, knowing like, you know what? I might not hit all the goals I set out for me. I might not hit half of the goals that they set out for me, but I'm doing the best I can every single day. But I'm keeping my peace, I'm keeping my zen, and I'm prioritizing God, and He is pleased with me. I learned years ago from a man of God, Whitley Phipps. He done met with the presidents. He done met global world leaders. I'm at his home in Florida, and I meet with the man of God. And Whitney Phipps said, Jeremy, years ago, I tried to get man's approval, you know what I'm saying, without God's favor. And he realized it don't work like that. He was like, I would much rather have the favor of God than man's approval. And Aisha, I got to a point where I was like, you know what? I'm not seeking to please man anymore. As long as God is happy, as long as God is pleased. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if God is happy and God is pleased, then that's that peace with me. You know, and so I want you to walk in that, do the absolute best that you can do every single day, and trust and believe that God's gonna take care of the rest from there. All right, man. Appreciate that question, y'all. Like always, I want to pray us out, and I want to see you home on this note here. God, I'm so grateful to have this time to chat and to connect with your children. And I just pray for those that's having a hard time, you know, protecting their peace. I pray for those that's having a hard time setting boundaries. Clearly let them know what they should do. The missed calls, the missed texts, the missed emails, like being at peace with, like not showing up on the scene, being willing to say more, doing more self-care, prioritizing you, Lord, releasing themselves of the expectations of other people, reading more, praying, fasting, like doing whatever they got to do to take care of their mind, their heart, their soul, their spirit, so that they can be as powerful and prolific as you have called them to be. So help them to set the necessary boundaries, do the necessary things to take care of themselves. That is my prayer, God. And as they do it, may you on the flip end see them sharper, stronger, and better. And I pray then, God, that you will open up the windows of heaven, as your word says, and you will pour them out a blessing, enough so that there won't even be room enough to receive it all. That's my prayer. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Man, God bless y'all. Love y'all, man. And I'll see y'all next week. Let's get it.